I have just finished up all my garden chores for the day, so it's time to get into some Stardew. We have a star drop luck day today, which means we'll be hitting the caverns pretty hard and paying extra close attention to how much better a star drop luck day is compared to even any other day prior, so let's get into it. We're just gonna kind of gloss over this for now, because today we're not doing any of it except for the actual Skull Caverns dive. We're not even going to harvest the kale yet because we're a little bit ahead of schedule on that, so we can wait one day. And we'll just do that tomorrow when our luck almost guaranteed won't be as good and we have a bunch of other kind of random chores to do. So for now, all we're going to do is hit the caverns. That's the most important thing. And we want to get there as early as possible. So we brought just some bombs and regular stuff with us, but mostly we're hoping to get to at least level 100 today, if not further. It just kind of depends on our shaft luck. But yeah, I'll probably pay a little bit closer to the gameplay today and not be as tangential, but you can already kind of see the difference. Well, not with that floor. That's bad luck. Usually you'd find a ladder by now. There's probably, if your luck is this bad with finding a ladder, there's a good chance you have a freebie somewhere. But if you look, right off the bat, I just got a lucky ring, which is huge. And that kind of changes like almost everything. My entire run is going to change. And that was only on the 3rd floor. So now I have a star drop luck day and a lucky ring, which is pretty cool, especially for like, what is this, our 4th cavern dive or 3rd one? So yeah, things will pick up really, really fast. So now we have an even better chance of a treasure floors and a lesser chance of infested floors, even though we just got one. So you'll see that since my luck is so high, I'll have a lot more liberal use of bombs, just because it won't feel like as much of a waste. And yeah, the only thing that would make this day any better would be a magic rock candy, which we don't have, so that's okay. And since I got that lucky ring, even if I were to get killed on this run, I wouldn't restart this day. That ring is valuable enough that it doesn't matter. If I die and I don't drop, my galaxy sword, I wouldn't reset the day. Even then, I probably wouldn't. That's how important that ring can be. Like at some point, I'll have 2 of them, and like paired with an iridium band and a burglar's ring, probably. But for now, that'll be the main ring I use. But yeah, you can just kind of see the pace is generally like crazy different. You also notice on those treasure room floors, I always break the rocks, even though there is a free ladder. It's always better to break rocks because you can get a drop shaft pretty easily. So you might as well break them if you're in there. There's only ever like 2 or 3 rocks. So. The only kind of bummer about this is I don't have a iridium pickaxe. I'm hoping to get that maybe next week, something around there, and that'll speed me up a ton as well. So but yeah, you can kind of see the pace of this run is going a lot better. We're still not quite where we want to be with like, floor 50 to 100 by noon, but we're getting there. We're getting a lot closer. And then I'll go back to the Skull Caverns tomorrow. If luck is above neutral, probably. But chances are that doesn't happen. And if it does happen, then I don't know, we'll see. It's just one of those days where there's so many other chores to do that it's potentially not even worth really going to the caverns, because you'll lose half the day anyway. The only other thing I don't do, which I should really be doing, is killing these mummies. Because you can kind of kite them around and then kill them right before using a bomb, which I actually do right here. Well, maybe not. Why don't I do that? I should, but I don't. Just because the solar essence is super valuable, and you can use them to make mega bombs later on. I do a lot of that in the future. That's pretty much all I use solar essences for. They're not really good for a whole lot else, except for maybe the iridium band. But I don't know, you don't really need the iridium band, even though it's a kind of a nice thing to have. And then diamonds are huge also. Making sure I get like at least 3 or 4 diamonds per run so that I don't run out of espresso is really important. As I know I've mentioned it before, I'm really stubborn and I don't clone diamonds. So I'm always at risk of running out of them until I get a few lucky days in a row, and then I'll have a surplus. And I think I've gotten like, is that 2 cowboy hats already? So I've had more chests, but not very good chest contents. This is a floor that's almost always valuable to use a ladder on. I don't know why, I seem to have bad luck with it, so I almost always ladder out of it. Yeah, it's been a decent day. I'm pretty happy to get a run like this like relatively early on, just so that the money stress is a little bit less. Oh, and prismatic shards are big too. If I can get the 3 I need, that'd be pretty important, just so I can get that rock candy next week. And now I don't really have to worry about breaking crates nearly as much. Like, it's nice because you can get things like batteries, but since I don't need a lucky ring anymore, I'll be a lot more lax about skipping them. Like, you won't see me farming floor 1 over and over again trying to get a chance at the ring. Yeah, these are some kind of bummer chests, but ideally I'd get like, you know, iridium sprinklers or crystallariums would be really big, so you don't have to waste any gold. I can't remember what else you need to make crystallariums. I think you need a battery. I think you need like 5 gold bars. And yeah, it's just really expensive. Yeah, here's another run where I probably should have laddered earlier on. And I'm taking a pretty decent sized risk fighting these bats. It's funny watching these in like retrospect, and obviously I know how bad it's going when you're watching it, but in the moment you can really be super judgy about your decision making. I try not to be, but you know, hindsight's 20/20, so, and especially when you're like watching the video footage. Yeah, a lot of these mummies should be dying. I do that a lot too. I accidentally block instead of go down ladders. It's not really that big of a time loss, but it can be a little bit frustrating. I don't actually remember if I get to level 100. I'm pretty sure I will. Oh, I must have misread that. I definitely will. I thought it said 78, not 98. And that was a double prismatic shard right there, I think. So that's cool. And another one. So yeah, this is a super lucky run. And only a couple little mistakes, but nothing worth resetting for. Especially with that lucky ring. So I mean, right off the bat, like I already know that even if I get no further, this is a really successful day. That always makes it really nice, so you don't have to stress and you can just play a lot more relaxed. The only thing I get less relaxed about is like dying is kind of a bummer, especially knowing if you have to keep it, but I would say it's pretty rare that I keep a run if I die. Because that usually kind of means that, I mean, you're going to lose like a stack of espresso or spicy eel, and recovering from that in this tight of a min-max run, it's just not possible. Or, you know, if you lose a whole stack of iridium, or Like your galaxy sword. You just can't really afford to get back from that. But luckily with, like, the higher your luck is, the less likely you are to lose items. So like, theoretically, if I do die today, I will only lose like maybe the gold. And there's a sprinkler, so that's cool. I like getting those, but I don't really utilize them as well as I probably could. I always end up just planting a couple extra little things instead of incorporating them into my actual like sprinkler layout like I should. And I should probably also start. Oh yeah, I should really start donating items so I can get Krobus and start buying sprinklers every Friday. But I think I am far enough in my gameplay that I can't do that. I missed my chance, but we'll see. Yeah, you can see how, like, look at the density of the iridium now compared to what it's like, 20 floors ago. It gets pretty crazy. And that's why you'll see Jade become really popular, because you can skip all the garbage floors where you don't get anything at all and just ladder all the way down to like 50 or 75 or 100. And so that at 8 o'clock your run is starting right here, and that's when things really start getting crazy and you start making a ton of money, and it just becomes easier. Everything becomes less stressed because you don't have to worry about all the resources consumed to get just this far. But yeah, I got 6 prismatic shards, which is insane. I'll end up having way more prismatics than I actually need. I keep wanting to say prizzy. People always call them prizzies, and I don't know what it is about that. I hate that term, so I never say it. I usually say like prismos, but then people don't know what I'm talking about, so I just say, I'll just say prismatics. But yeah, that was a really good run. Like 200 iridium, ton of prismatics, not a ton of coal. But yeah, I mean, it was good. It went really, really well. I did pass out, unfortunately, but I went scout this time around. It doesn't matter what you do. Fighter's good, but I like scout more. Just because I like that crit when you have a galaxy hammer later on. So this day, I played through this day a couple times. So that's why I didn't check luck, and that's why I didn't check weather, because I don't care anymore. I've played through it a number of times to try and like make sure I route it right. And basically, it's a really bad luck day. So this is when I'm going to spend all of my time prepping my farm. I think it was either skull or just bat, but either way, like I just had a good run. So what do I really care if I lose a day? Because I need to harvest the kale today, and I need to replant the kale, and I also need to clear out basically my entire farm, or at least like 2/3 of it, like the eastern, northeastern side, so I can start building my pathing and my little locations for all the sprinklers. If I don't do it now, I might have to give up a better luck day to do it, so I might as well get it all done. And I'll speed it up shortly here. I know this gets a little monotonous, but I do like watching the kale kind of scythe away, and I like the sound, so I guess that's mostly just for me. But yeah, this is where, like, this is kind of the harder part in my opinion, where you have to figure out when is like the ideal times to start doing your more mundane tasks. And I don't know, I also need to upgrade stuff soon. I don't know. I think I have my axe in there. Either way, I need to get it back if I do. And I need to start chopping all these trees down. Yeah, so I can upgrade my hoe today too. Which I think I mentioned that already in that little infographic there. But yeah, big errand day. I kind of wish I would have broken open some geodes today, just to get all 70 of my items donated to get the key for the sewers, but I didn't. I already know I didn't, so whatever. I donated some of the stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty chill day, I'd say. And I'm still kind of debating whether or not I'll use the mousy pounds predictor to open geodes. It's a resource that's only really available to PC users and I think mobile users as well, where you can basically plot out what's going to be in every geode, so you can open them in a very regimented pattern. It's something I always do on every run, but it is generally like a pretty big advantage to be able to, you know, get all the items you need to donate right away, or get all the fire quartz you need from magma geodes or whatever it may be. So I don't know if I'll do it this time. It'll probably end up resulting in like, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes of geode opening of real time that I won't leave in. So I don't know if there's actually much value in that, because I'll end up with so many omnis that I'll just open omni geodes over and over and over again, like 300 in a row. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any value in not using the predictor, but it's just technically more fair to not use it. But I don't know. We'll see when we cross that bridge. And I don't know. Yeah, like I didn't donate enough to even get the scarecrows, which I usually would have done probably by now. And then I got here too early, so I got to do the dance outside of Clint's. And yeah, I only have a copper axe, which I should have a steel axe before I start clearing my farm. But the opportunity is just pretty good today, so I don't want to blow it. And I'll just take my copper axe. It'll still be able to get rid of the medium-sized stumps, just not the big logs. And I think the rest of the day is going to be me chopping wood. And I'll fast forward that for sure, but that's what it's going to be. Because I need this whole area right here in front of me needs to be cleared. And that's mostly because that's where my initial sprinklers will be. I'll do about 35 or 40 sprinklers, like 2 big chunks of like 40 sprinklers each, with a path down the middle of the 2, so that when I get the iridium sprinklers, I can tear them up and I already have I can tear up the path and all the old sprinklers, and I have a perfect layout for iridium sprinklers. So that's what we'll do. Maybe I didn't. Oh, you know what? I still have a couple errands I gotta do. I need to go to the traveling cart since I have extra money. And I might as well check, because if it has something that avoids having to get a coop or barn or whatever, I want to get it. So chances are I'll need a barn anyway, but if I don't have to get one, it's much preferred, because I don't like having to waste my time with animals at all. And I could get a blueberry, but there's not a lot of value of that. I just grow one for really cheap, and I don't plan on finishing the community center until winter, I guess, on this run, so we'll see. I guess the only thing I haven't thought about yet is the red cabbage. I don't think I clicked year 1 guaranteed, so I might have to just bank on a mummy or serpent dropping a seed, which is fine, but it may not happen. It's very possible the community center doesn't get completed on this run, which it is what it is. I don't really care. I think Ginger Island is nice, and it's really good for money, but it's not necessary in my opinion. Oh, so this is all sped up now, but it still takes a fair amount of time. But I thought it was a good idea to leave some of this in so you can see like how my planning process works. So like right now I'm just laying out where the sprinklers are going to be so I can see where my cutoff is. And then I'm going to draw a line. Well, not draw a line, but I'm going to carve out a line so I know how much I need to clear. So like anything past this line can stay, but anything within it needs to be cleared out. And that way I have like a goal set up in my mind for the day. And then just a ton of tree chopping, which is good to do because you do need that level 6 foraging by I think the 4th of summer to start making lightning rods. So chopping trees is never a bad option, I guess. It just kind of isn't fun. And it's just slow going with a bronze axe, or a copper axe rather. It shouldn't be a copper axe. Like, you would not have much success, I feel like, chopping something with a copper axe. I guess you would initially, but copper is so soft, I don't know if it would be very beneficial. But that doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. So I mentioned earlier, I finished up all my garden chores this morning. I spent probably 2 hours outside planting some more peppers and a lot of squash and cucumbers. So we have all these crazy varieties we ordered from a site called rareseeds.com, which is not a rare seed. Different kind of food, or fruit, I guess, not real in real life. But yeah, so we ordered like these ahi peppers that are kind of fancy, and I think Etuda and Lesia. I don't know how to say them, unfortunately. I should probably learn, but a bunch of different little unique pepper varieties. And finally put those in the ground. They're probably about 2 months old. And yeah, so now you're seeing I'm starting to build the actual path, and it will make a little bit more sense. I think I end up changing those to wood instead of stone, but it'll make more sense where my sprinkler layout's going to be as I build it. But yeah, anyway, I planted all those plants, and hopefully the weather stays good. I'm still kind of banking on weather being compliant, even though we're known to get snowstorms as late as June sometimes. But I don't know, I don't want to wait too late, so I'll just take the chance. In worst case scenario, I guess we just won't get much of a harvest this year, or I guess I could try and dig stuff out or save it in the event of a freeze. But I mean, it's been 80 degrees pretty consistently, so I'm not really worried, but you never know. Like, sometimes the temperature drops, 40 degrees overnight, so who knows? Yeah, so I did that, and I think that concludes a majority of our planting, aside from some of the more sensitive herbs. And then we'll do a fall gardening deal, so we'll grow kale a little bit later and things like that. Yeah, so here I am. I don't know why I did this. This is a waste of time. But I'm switching over to wood paths, just because stone is a little rarer right now. And yeah, I'm just wasting a pretty fat amount of time. So what are you gonna do? At least the sprinklers are started, and I got a lot of the stuff done today. And I can pick up where I left off relatively easily. Next time, luck is not good. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm in a good spot in real life with the garden and in Stardew with the farm. So that's a good spot to be in. And it's all pretty low stress around here, even though it doesn't always appear that way. I wish I should have been able to complete this, but I didn't, so that's okay. I don't think we start doing this again until like next week, so it'll be a while before we have a super boring episode like this. But yeah, this is mostly just to showcase. I don't know, I'll probably skip this next time, but this is mostly just to showcase how I go about my planning. And I don't know, hope you enjoyed. It's a long road, I guess, with Stardew, and hopefully this min-max run doesn't lose too much steam, but it'll pick up again a little bit here until summertime. See ya.